Hello, my name is Renee Foster. I have an art studio called Twisted Wanderland, where the world in my mind is brought to life. I do oil paintings and clay sculpting. From a very young age, I've been using pens, pencils, markers, a little bit of acrylic and watercolor to create my art. It always came naturally. I wasn't taught how to do it. 3 years ago, my journey with clay sculpting began, followed by oil painting. YouTube was my main inspiration and motivation for starting to learn these two new skills. I started researching on materials, the safest way of using them, techniques, and after that I just bought the supplies and started practicing. Now, practice is very important. It makes a big difference. You're not gonna get it right at your first try. Making mistakes and learning from them is key to getting better at your field. The internet is full of information on a vast number of topics. Use this resource. Don't rely on classrooms and teachers. Take initiative and do your research. Also, learning a new skill from scratch, you need to have some form of discipline. You're not going to have the rules of school or a schedule of school, and it is going to be boring. But by doing research and practicing what you research, you are going to grow in your field.
How would you describe the nature of your art?
Another world? Unworldly? Well, okay, so everything that I create has a backstory. It comes naturally. I wouldn't want to call it visions, but I could see vividly a character or what that character is doing or that character's life, and then I bring it to life by sketching it out and then sculpting or painting, transferring the sketch to wood and doing oil painting.
Can you tell us about some of your pieces?
Sure. Well, this one is actually the beginning of Twisted Wanderland. My favorite Disney story is Alice in Wonderland. I've always been fascinated about it because she wasn't the princess that needed saving. She went down a rabbit hole and started to experience things that wouldn't be in this world. And that has been an inspiration for me ever since little. This is supposed to be my version of Alice, and this head floating here is the Queen of Hearts. Yeah. And this is my version of Wonderland.
I'm particularly interested with the nutmeg. I don't know how to call it.
Oh, she's, okay, so I had to take part in a gallery show, and they wanted, this is my first ever Grenadian inspired piece, because usually I always tap into just my world. So the story here is, this is one of my characters from my planet, Omehalan. She traveled to this dimension and ended up in Grenada. She has been seen in the middle of the night by people. She lives more in the bush, foresty area, and she comes out at full moon to fertilize all the sugar cane and all these things. So for good harvest and everything. But people have seen her and misunderstood her, and they started calling her a Ladjabless. So that's the story. So that's my version of the Ladjabless.
Any other paintings you like to?
This one was, actually the concept was my first oil painting I practiced, and I didn't like how it was originally. And well, my husband really liked the concept, so I decided to redo it one day and surprise him while he came home. So it's not fully finished yet, but this was supposed to portray new beginnings and fertility and life in general.
And I heard you mention sculptures.
Yeah.
Can you tell us some of them?
Well, I started clay sculpting. I did miniatures like this first, and after, yeah, miniatures like this. And then I bought monster clay. It's a wax-based clay. It doesn't harden. And I started sculpting prototypes like this one. Like this one. So he's fully made of monster clay. He's just a prototype. So what I'm gonna do with him is I'm gonna make a mold of him, and then I really wanna cast him into porcelain. So he's gonna be a porcelain sculpture. After a while, I have 2 others at home. If you would like to see like pictures and all these other work in progress of these things, you can check me on Instagram. And for these, I use polymer clay. You have to bake it in the oven for it to harden. That's what I'm going to be making the pendant with today. Oh, this one. This painting is different from every other one because it's actually paper clay. This is a clay that is made from shredded paper and mixed with glue and stuff. So this one is made with paper clay. This one air dries. You don't have to bake it or anything. So to harden it, you use air dry, and I use my rotary tool to carve in the details and then painted it in with watercolor. Well, oil paint, and then those fine metallic details are watercolor.